Hey, fifth grade. This week we are focusing on perimeter and area. Yesterday, you should have watched several videos on Khan Academy to help you with solving problems involving perimeter and area, as well as missing sides. Today, as we go through 3 problems together, I would like for you, if you feel comfortable, to pause your video after we go through the question, try it on your own, and then come back to see if you're correct. The first question we are going to solve together says, what is the perimeter of a rectangle with a length of 2/3 centimeters and a width of 1 4/5 centimeters? And then what is the area? So we're going to try and find perimeter and area. And again, the length is 2/3 centimeters and that width is 1 4/5 centimeters. If you're feeling pretty confident, please pause this and try it on your own. All right, hopefully you tried that on your own. So I would draw a picture first of a rectangle just so I have it. It says the length is 2/3 centimeters and the width is 1 4/5 centimeters. And now I'm going to try and find perimeter as well as area. So for perimeter, my formula is going to be P equals add all sides. Remember, perimeter is along the outside edges. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and just label my missing sides. And then so for my substitute, I'm going to have perimeter equals 1 4/5 plus 1 4/5 plus 2/3 plus 2/3. And then I'm just going to move into the solve. So I'm going to add 1 4/5 and 1 4/5 first. Also going to add 2/3 plus 2/3. And then I'll add those sums together. 1 4/5 plus 1 4/5, that's 2 8/5. 8/5 is improper, so I'll take out wholes. 5/5 plus 3/5. So now I have 2 plus 1 is 3 3/5. Just box that part. 2/3 plus 2/3 is going to be 4/3, and I'll take out wholes. So I have 3/3 plus 1/3. So that would be 1 1/3. So now I need to add 3 3/5 plus 1 1/3. I'll do that over here. I cannot add these like they are because they don't have common denominators. So I'll list out my 5s, I'll list out my 3s. And I found a common denominator of 15. I'll set up my new fractions with my new denominator of 15. 5 times what equals 15? 3. So I'll multiply my numerator by 3 because fractions are always fair. 3 times 3 is 9. And then 3 times what equals 15? 3 times 5. Fractions are always fair, so I'll multiply my numerator by 5. 9 plus 5 equals 14. My denominator stays the same, 14/15. And then 3 plus 1 equals 4. So my perimeter of this rectangle is equal to 4 14/15 centimeters. Then I still need to find the area, so I'll draw a line underneath. And my formula for area is area equals length times width. For my substitute, I'll just look up here. My length was 2/3, my width was 1 4/5. So I'll be doing 2/3 times 1 4/5. For my solve, 2/3 times 1 4/5. When I multiply fractions, everything has to be a fraction, so I'm going to go ahead and do the wheel. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9. So I have 9/5 times 2/3. Then I just multiply across. 2 times 9 equals 18. 3 times 5 equals 15. This is an improper fraction, so I'll take out wholes. 15/15 plus 3/15. That is equal to 1 3/15. So that means my area of this rectangle is 1 3/15 square centimeters. All right, so that was just a quick review of just normal perimeter and area problems. Now we're going to practice a couple where you are given the area and the side, and how do you find that other side. All right, so our next problem we're going to do together says a rectangle has an area of 3 square feet and a width of 1/4 feet. What is the length of the rectangle? All right, so I have a rectangle. Oops, sorry. And it said the area is 3 square feet and that the width was 1/4 of a foot, and we don't know the length yet. So that's what we're trying to find. So if I were to write out my formula is still area equals length times width. For my substitute, I would be able to put in for area that 3 feet. So 3 is equal to length, whatever it happens to be, we don't know yet, times 1/4. So for my solve, I'm thinking about this as an area model. I would be multiplying these two to get to 3. So if I'm trying to find one of the sides, I'm going to need to use division. So I'll be doing 3 divided by 1/4 will give me the length. And then to divide fractions, I need to turn everything into a fraction first. And then I do copy, dot, flip. And I got to 12/1, which is equal to 12. And then since it's this length, it's going to be 12 feet. I can check to make sure that is correct by just plugging in the 12 feet here. So if I multiply 12 by 1/4, I should get back to 3. So I could just go ahead and check that. I'm doing 12/1 times 1/4. And I got to 12/4 when I multiplied across. Then I can take out wholes, 4/4 plus 4/4 plus 4/4. That is equal to 3 wholes. Hey, we got right back to our area. That's excellent. So when I have area and I have one side, to find the other side, I will actually need to divide. So the length of this rectangle, length equals 12 feet. All right, one final problem we are doing together. All right, and I forgot to remind you on the last problem, but on this one, after we go through it, I would suggest pausing and trying it on your own and then coming back to check. This one says a patio has an area of 66 9/96 square feet. It has a length of 6 2/10 feet. What is its width? I'm going to draw that rectangle. The area is equal to 66 9/96 square feet. And then the length is 6 2/10 feet. And then we're looking for the width. If you feel comfortable, I would pause this and then come back to check. All right, so we've got our area, we've got one side, we're looking for the other side. This is pretty much my understand. And with an area model, we would multiply the outsides to get to the inside, or we would need to divide our area by one side to get the other side. Since we're looking for this one, that would actually be my plan. 66 9/96 divided by 6 2/10. That will tell us our width. For the solve, I'm going to turn my paper sideways. And I will do 66 96 divided by 6 2/10. All right, I have a decimal in my divisor, so I need to move it to the end. I need to do the same thing inside the dividend. My new decimal gets moved up to the top. And then 62 rounds to 60. So I'm going to list my sixes. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. And the spider says 42, 48, 54. Then I'll have to add zeros to make them 60s instead of 6s. All right, how many times does 62 go into 6? Well, that's 0 times. 0 times 62 is 0. 6 minus 0 is 6. Bring down my 6. How many times does 62 go into 66? 1 time. 1 times 62 is 62. 66 minus 62 is 4. Then I'll bring down the 9. Does 62 fit into 49? Well, it does not because it is too big. So I'll put a 0 up here. 0 times 62 is 0. 49 minus 0 is 49, and I'll bring down that 6. How many times will 62 go into 496? Most likely 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I need to do 62 times 8. I'll do that over here. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 6 is 48, plus 1 is 49. So I'm going to subtract 496, and I got to, oh, that's 0. All right, so that tells me that my width was 10 8/10 centimeters. Of course, I'm going to check this. 10 8/10 times 6 2/10. I'm going to circle that 2. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Next step, tick, tack, toe. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4. And 6 times 1 is 6. All right, then we are going to add our partial product. 6 plus 0 is 6, 8 plus 1 is 9, 4 plus 2 is 6, and 6 plus nothing is 6. There are 2 digits behind my decimal, so I'll put my decimal in. We did this correct, excellent. And so our width is going to be 10 8/10 feet. All right, hopefully this was a helpful review for you. Today on your Google form, there is going to be a question that asks, what is on Scooter's collar? The answer is Batman. What is on Scooter's collar? The answer is Batman. All right, thanks so much. Bye-bye.